there. Thank you for joining me today. My name's Amy Warnock, and I'm an Environmental Quality and Education Manager with the Fulton County Department of Public Works. And I'm here today to talk to you about drought, something that happens pretty often here in Georgia. Before we get started, let me ask you, do you know what a drought is? A drought is an extended period of drier than average weather when we don't get as much precipitation or rain as we expect. Here in Georgia, we don't think of ourselves as living in a dry area, do we? When we think about dry places, we usually think of places more like the southwestern United States. Places like Monument Valley in Utah, or White Sands National Monument in New Mexico. We think of plants like the saguaro cactus in Arizona, and animals like the Gila monster, or the western diamondback rattlesnake. That certainly doesn't look like our home, but let's check in with our on-site weather reporter who's on location right now in Fulton County, Georgia. How's it looking out there?
Well, it's certainly not dry today, guys. As a matter of fact, here in the metro Atlanta area, our average yearly rainfall is almost 50 inches. Back to you, Amy.
Wow, Rainey, almost 50 inches of rain a year on average? That's quite a number. So why would we ever worry about water? Well, let's check in with our data analyst for a little bit of a deeper dive on this one.
Well, you see, Amy, the important word here is average. In order to find the average, or the mean, of a set of numbers, we add up the numbers and then divide by the number of data points we had. So for example, if in the year 2020 it rained 80 inches, and then in the year 2021 it only rained 20 inches, those two numbers add up to 100. So if we take that sum and divide by our number of data points, which is 2, we still get an average or a mean of 50 inches, even though we had one very wet year and one very dry year.
Wow, thanks, Anna. That really clears things up. So what happens during those times when we get much less precipitation than we're used to? That's what we call a drought. Drought conditions can be mild or they can be severe, and they can last for just a few months or they can stretch out over years. Long periods of drought can cause problems for farmers raising crops because there may not be enough water in the soil for plants to thrive. Dry conditions in forests can increase the chances of wildfire and can make it more difficult to fight those fires. During a drought, water levels in our lakes and rivers can also drop significantly because there's not enough precipitation to replenish the water that's evaporating. And here in North Georgia, most of us rely on lakes like Lake Lanier and Lake Allatoona and rivers like the Chattahoochee as our water sources. So what can we do to help reduce the impact of a drought? Well, conserving our water resources and not wasting them is always important, but it becomes even more critical in times of drought. And we can do a lot of very simple things like taking a shorter shower, turning the faucet off while you're brushing your teeth, washing dishes. We can turn off our sprinkler systems. We use a lot of water outdoors, so turning off that hose and not using it for washing our car or spraying the driveway, all of those little actions can add up to a lot of water savings. Thanks for joining me today to learn about drought. Try to take a few minutes today to talk to your family about any droughts that they remember, or about some things that you can all do at home to try to conserve our water and make sure we're not wasting this precious resource. Remember, every drop counts.